moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, and welcome to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television. It is Tuesday, the 17th day of June, 2025, and we're coming to you live from the Port Mall here in Scarborough, Tobago. I am Adana Kambi, and this is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. Of course, it is a privilege to be coming to you this morning, and of course, we're always so happy when you choose to join us, and you are the reason why we remain number one for morning show here on the island of Tobago. And so a great appreciation is going out to you this morning. As we get into the conversations, we want you to be a part of what is being discussed this morning. So remember, you can join us on our Facebook live stream and on our YouTube channel. There you can leave your comments, you can ask your questions, and you can be a part of the conversation. But before we get into the conversation, we head on over to the news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Adana. Here's your news in 90 seconds for Tuesday, June 17th, 2025. We begin with some unfortunate news. One man was injured in a drive-by shooting in Canby area last evening. He sustained a gunshot wound to the leg and was rushed to the Scarborough General Hospital for treatment. According to reports, the victim is currently in a stable condition. Further details will be provided in a subsequent newscast. Government spending is set to rise by $3.1 billion this fiscal year, with major allocations going to key ministries such as health, education, and public utilities. The original 2025 budget outlined $59.7 billion in expenditure and $54.2 billion in revenue, with a $5.5 billion deficit. The largest additional allocation, $728.5 million, will go to the Ministry of Health, followed by $489.5 million for public utilities and $455.1 million for education. Meanwhile, the Tobago House of Assembly has been supplemented the sum of $32,740,140. This was approved during a State Finance Committee meeting yesterday. And finally, the Division of Food Security, Natural Resources, the Environment, and Sustainable Development officially handed over the upgraded Agri-Technology Training Center in Buku to Tobago Agri-Technology Services Limited yesterday, marking a significant step forward in Tobago's agricultural transformation and food security efforts. Formerly the Tobago Fisheries Training Center, the modernized facility will now support agriculture, fisheries, and forestry training. Secretary in the Division of Food Security, Natural Resources, the Environment, and Sustainable Development, Natisha Charles Pantin, highlighted the importance of sustainability and innovation, while Chief Secretary Fali Augustine commended the initiative and pledged continued support for the sector. And that was your news in 90 seconds.
Biana, thank you for our news there in 90 seconds. And I just want to talk a little bit about, I'm not sure it was in your news story this morning, but the minority leader, he, of course, he mentioned that his disappointment and his disagreement with the repealing of the TTRA, in a statement he said that it is considered a troubling victory for tax evaders. And, it's a conversation we've been having in terms of repealing the TTRA and the role of BIR, and of course trying to figure out what is going to be put in place in terms of ensuring that taxes are collected correctly. That kind of provision is made, and so I know that they mentioned that they'll be making more investments in the BIR to ensure that they are able to, execute the duties that will cover everything else that the TTRA was commissioned to do. So we're hoping that, you know, those things can kind of fall back in a place. Well, obviously we have to sit and be watch on for the accountability to ensure things transition smoothly.
Yes, yes.
Because when, of course, I know when new governments come in, they have their policies, they have their plans, and of course we have to ensure that the policies they implement don't just short circuit what was in operation, but they actually have a follow through that will of course be of some benefit to the members of the society, because at the end of the day, you know, we are the ones who feel the brunt of any decision that is made in any country. Yes. I don't know where you are where that is concerned.
Well, I didn't pay much attention to the speech that the minority leader gave, but in terms of the repealing of the TTRA, you know, I would really like to see how BIR now will, you know, incorporate what they were doing, you know, to have a smooth transition, as you mentioned before.
I'm wondering if they will increase their human resources, their capacity. How are they going to increase their capacity? Is it going to be through human resources? How are they going to do it? So it's just to wait and see how they roll out in terms of the execution of duties and ensuring that the population isn't too disturbed while that is being done.
And while you mentioned human resource, right? I know, based on the campaign trail when elections was around, they said that no one will be sent home. So let's, you know, wait to see how that will roll out.
Well, we've been hearing rumors, so, you know, we just have to verify what is happening, as you rightfully say, and get the facts as they are, not just the rumors and what is being, you know, said on social media spaces. So that too is very, very important to know and to find out as well.
Yes, yes.
All right, Bianna, you know it's a short week this week. So what do you have planned for what is coming up on the long weekend?
Well, we have 2 holidays, Thursday, Friday, you know, probably try to get in some beach, do some exercising, and a little here and there around the home. So that's my plans, I guess. All
right, and I do hope that as you do that, you remain consistent and that you actually do it, because sometimes I know myself, even when I make those plans, they don't always get done. But, you know, I think I'm going to look to you for inspiration this weekend. I'm going to be a part of a conference that is taking place in Trinidad over the long weekend. So that is where I will be. But I'm hoping to get some stuff done before I go. You know, around the house, around the yard, you know, little things that need to get done as well. So tomorrow is Youth Wednesday, so that's why we're talking about it now here, viewers, just in case you're wondering. Yes, it's Youth Wednesday tomorrow, so we will not be on set tomorrow. So before we go, of course, we want to wish you a very, very lovely holiday season that is coming up. Coming Thursday, Friday, and then you have Saturday, Sunday as well. So Rihanna, you take care and have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Same to you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the morning where we celebrate with those who are celebrating. It's time for our birthday shout-outs. And you do know that we here at Tobago Updates Television, we love a good celebration. In fact, we want to say happy birthday to Mr. Mark Dennis. Mark Dennis is celebrating a birthday, and we say happy birthday to you. We pray God's blessings upon your life, and we do hope that you have a wonderful and amazing birthday. Camille Chance is also celebrating, so we say happy birthday to you, Camille. We pray God's blessings upon your life, and we do hope that this new season that you're entering into is a good season. So happy birthday to you as well. Danielle Dikoto Campbell, she is also celebrating a birthday, and we say happy birthday to you. We pray a special blessing upon your life, and as you continue to do that which you are doing, representing Tobago wherever you are and whatever you're doing, that you are graced to do so, and that you have a wonderful, wonderful birthday experience. Donnell Hazel Thomas is also celebrating a birthday. Donnell Hazel Thomas is celebrating as well, and we say happy birthday to you. We do pray God's blessings upon your life, and we hope that you have a wonderful and amazing birthday. The man Ian Williams, Ian is celebrating his birthday as well, and Ian, we do pray God's blessings upon your life as you continue to serve. We pray that you receive the grace and the strength and also the wisdom to come up with strategies in the position that you hold so that you can continue to impact lives. So happy birthday to you as well. Keisha Orr is celebrating a birthday, and Keisha, we say happy birthday to you. We hope you continue smiling, continue shining, and that you have an amazing, amazing birthday season. Keisha, I'm seeing you wearing a pair of glasses and another one on top. I don't know if there's a sunglasses, but you know, keep up that fine style that you have and have a wonderful birthday season. And finally, Afia Marcel. Afia Marcel is also celebrating a birthday, and we say happy birthday to Afia, and we do pray God's blessings upon your life, and we hope you have a wonderful and an amazing birthday season. And of course, even if we don't have your photographs and you are celebrating, we join in the celebration with you and remind you to put God first, because He is the sole reason why there's even anything for you to celebrate. And this morning, I want to say a special good morning to two of my viewers who I saw over the weekend, between the weekend and yesterday. Mr. Edison Grandison, a special good morning to you and a happy belated Father's Day to you. I saw him there at the Father's Day event on Sunday at the THDI, and he was having a really, really grand time. And so I want to say a special good morning to you, Mr. Edison Grandison. And I also want to say a special good morning to Miss Phyllis Edwards, Miss Phyllis Edwards of Mason Hall. She too was at the event, and she ensured that I said from Mason Hall, because apparently there are a few other Phyllis Edwards here on the island. And so this one is specifically for you, Miss Phyllis Edwards of Mason Hall. A pleasure meeting you yesterday afternoon. And I do hope that you have a wonderful and an amazing day today. All right, viewers, we have a lovely show lined up for you this morning. In fact, we'll be having conversations with Mr. Dexter Sandy. He's the manager of Tobago Investment Center at Unit Trust, and we're going to be talking about Gifts of Units campaign, the Gift of Units campaign. We're going to have that conversation. And then we speak with Councillor Petal Ann Roberts. She's the Secretary of Finance, Trade and the Economy, and Mr. Anselm Richards. He is the Chief Technical Advisor to the Division of Finance, Trade and the Economy. And they're going to be talking about THA Loan Guarantee Program launch, and we continue the conversation with THA Budget Presentation 2025. As you are aware, the budget's date was set for June 23rd. That's next week, Monday. And so we're going to have the secretary here in studio with us this morning, and we're going to be having that conversation. And I want you to know that later in the program, you can have your say. You can ask your questions. Remember that you can comment on our Facebook live stream and our YouTube channels. And in fact, we're going to be opening the phone lines later on in the program. So you want to be a part of that as well. So keep your hands close to your phone, just in case you want to ask a question directly here while we are running through the program this morning. Your voice can be heard and your questions can be answered. For those of you who are viewing right here in Tobago, in Trinidad, the Caribbean region, the United States of America, Canada, England, Asia, Australia, Africa, wherever you are on this globe, we thank you so much for joining us. And we're asking you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Dance Ensemble Tobago presents our signature event, Tobago Dance Sport Championship and Dancing with the Caribbean Stars. Lights, cameras, dance. Our 12th edition on Saturday the 12th of July, 5 p.m. The Shore Park Cultural Complex Auditorium. See our dancers, all ages, compete in waltz, jive, rumba, salsa, mambo, and much more. Our Dancing with the Caribbean Stars. Who will take home the Mirrorball Trophy? Mrs. Takiana Ned Augustine, the wife of the Chief Secretary of the Tobago House of Assembly. Miss Lynette Louis, vocalist entertainer. Mrs. Cassandra Thompson Forbes, journalist and Tobago correspondent. Mr. Javon Carrington, founder and head trainer of Dosfit Studios, and Mr. Julian Skeet, administrator and former TV host. After show dance party with DJ Santa out of Trinidad. Early bird tickets, adults $200, children $75, and general tickets, adults $250 and children $100. Get your early bird tickets now from Dance Ensemble members, D&D Jewelers at Tobago United Cooperative, Milford the 24 gas station in Canaan, and the Shore Park Cultural Complex box office. For more information, you call 772-9049 and 340-5758. You can't miss this one.
Are you ready to celebrate the essence of Crusoe land and the culture of Tobago? Well, get ready for Tobago Day in New York City, hosted by the Tobago Empowerment and Alliance Mission, Sunday, August 17, 2025, Nazareth High School Courtyard, 475 East 57th Street, Brooklyn, New York, 12 noon to 8 p.m. We bring the Tobago vibes to the Big Apple. Live music, Tobago food, cultural performances and family fun. So bring Tanty, Granny, the uncle, invite the whole neighborhood. Just bring everybody and bring your significant other too. Come celebrate Tobago Day in New York City, Sunday, August 17th, Nazareth High School Courtyard. But hey, I forget to tell all you, it's with 10th anniversary celebration. For more information, call 929-327-7857 or check Team's Facebook and Instagram pages, Team Tobago Day.
Do you think you know Premier League or Champions League football? What about international cricket or the IPL and CPL? How about NBA basketball? Well, now you can put your skills to work to earn some extra cash by betting on the games with TT Bet Arena. Simply go to our website, choose a sport you want to bet on, find the games, and place your bets. And with your computer or mobile device, you can bet from anywhere. Just go to ttbetarena.com, sign up for a free account, make a deposit, and start betting. It's that simple. You can even qualify for our $2,000 sign-up bonus. We also have horse racing, plus live casino games where you can bet using TT dollars. And check our new Tobago location at 7B Milford Road, Crown Point. For more info, call or WhatsApp 494-0634. TT Bet Arena, the #1 sports betting company in Trinidad and Tobago.
Want to get better? Where to start? What kind of exercise to do? What to eat? How to get restful sleep? Need a doctor to search for root cause? Look no further. Come to Majuba Hill Lifestyle Center Foundation at our Wellness Center in Goodwood, or Food Hub in Darrow Springs, Scarborough, or Doctor's Office in Goodwood and Darrow Springs. Contact 49 Swift 4979 438.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television, and thank you so much for staying with us. We begin conversations this morning by speaking with Mr. Dexter Sandy, and he is the manager of Tobago Investment Center of Unit Trust. And this morning we're talking about the gift of units. Isn't that an amazing thing? Wouldn't you like to be gifted, or wouldn't you like to be gifted with units? So let's get into the conversation. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, and thank you for having us here today.
All right, great. And of course, when you hear units and unit trust, we kind of know what we're talking about. Yeah. And we're talking about a campaign in terms of the gift of units, meaning that somebody's going to be gifted units, right? Or there's an opportunity for somebody to gift someone units. Yeah. So can you explain to us what is the unit trust gift of units, and why is it a great choice, especially as we just concluded, we just came out of Father's Day. So, I mean, it's still something we could do for fathers, and, so what is it about and how can they benefit?
Well, most definitely, the gift of units is a perfect form of rewarding someone with a benefit that they can carry for a lifetime, right? So the gift of units is basically you purchasing units into a mutual fund, and you're now gifting it to a loved one that they could now invest over a particular period of time, and it will definitely create wealth for them in the future.
Mm-hmm. And this, when you invest in a mutual fund, you're buying these units in the person's name or in your name. How does that work?
All right. So you, the purchaser, will be purchasing the gift of units in the recipient's name.
Right. Okay.
Right. And that way they will be able to come in with their ID and
continue to make contributions. Correct. All right. Correct. Cool. Good.
Yeah.
Good. So, if you want to make you want to do a little gift for somebody, you could buy it in their name, and then they just continue populating the account. Right. How does the gift of units contribute to financial growth? Because we're talking about long-term benefits and, the rewards that will come after. How does that contribute?
All right. So the gift of units is actually, as I said, a purchase into the mutual funds. And with mutual funds, they grow over time. They give you either dividend income or capital growth. And it really allows you, the unit holder, to gain wealth over, as I said, over an extended period of time. There are different funds that operate in a particular manner. It will be based on your risk appetite, things that we will discuss when it is you do come in to establish the account, or if you have an existing account and you want to refresh your mind, we'll have that conversation with you. But the gift of units is really the ability for anybody right now who is viewing this program to be able to walk into an investment center and purchase that gift for that loved one.
And sometimes with these investment funds, is it possible? Can income be earned from this fund, and how does that process work?
Yeah, so the gift of units, you're purchasing into a diversified portfolio, and from there, we as Unit Trust Corporation, we give you the capital gains and we pay you the dividend income across your accounts on a quarterly basis. Again, it's based on the performance of the fund, but it's something that we have been doing for over 40 years, right? The corporation has been in existence since 1981, and we have been really growing the wealth for the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, and we'll continue doing that. So definitely the gift of units allows you to now join, if you're brand new, to join the corporation and really benefit from the capital gains and the dividend income.
And I know this campaign was primarily for Father's Day, right? You know, it was a Father's Day promotion. Could you tell us a little bit more about the promotion itself, as it targeted and was tailored to fathers?
Yes. So, yes, I am quite aware that Father's Day was the day before yesterday. And people may be asking themselves, why is he talking about Father's Day this morning? The good thing about this campaign is that it runs until June 30th, right? So you have the ability to still come in and purchase a gift of units for that father or that father figure in your life and be able to pass it on to him, showing gratitude. It's a very simple process in terms of getting the gift of units. You can, log on our website, www.ttutc.com, and you can make the purchase of gift of units there. Or you can walk into any of our investment centers, or as some would say, any of our branches, right? And make the inquiry over the counter, and our customer service reps will be able to facilitate you.
And what about if you're not a member of the unit trust? So let's say, for instance, I'm purchasing for my dad and he's not a member.
Yeah.
Can he still access the funds, or can he still, is it that you're creating a new account for him? How does that work?
Right, so definitely. The gift of units recipients will be able to come in, whether they are brand new to us or an existing customer. They will be able to come in with their IDs, and we will establish an account for them so that they can now deposit the gift of units. If they're existing, and we just add it to the investment that they already hold with us. And it's not only for unit holders to purchase. Anyone can walk in at any point in time with their national ID and purchase the gift of units for the recipient of their choice, and we will facilitate it.
And the gift of unit, I know the units probably have standard cost, so I'm not sure how that works.
Yeah.
In terms of, for this period, there's a standard cost. Does the cost vary outside of this period? How does that work?
So the good thing about it, and what Unit Trust Corporation offers, is that you determine how much of a gift of units you want to purchase. So you can come in with the established amount that you want. You come in, as I said, with your ID. You come with the recipient's name, and we will now be able to process the gift of units purchase. You can walk with cash, or you can walk with your debit card or your credit card, and we will facilitate issuing the gift of units to the loved one. Yeah.
Sounds very, very convenient, and convincing, of course. And I know, as you mentioned, the Unit Trust Corporation has been around for over 40 years. I didn't even realize it was 1981. And they offer a number of services. Are you able to tell us a little bit more of some of the other services that you also offer?
Well, we offer a wide suite of mutual funds. And Unit Trust has been formed since 1981 to grow the wealth of the nation, right? The father of the nation at the point in time had the vision that we needed to have the average person be able to invest and benefit from stocks, shares, bonds, those sort of instruments. And Unit Trust Corporation has been in existence since then, doing it quite responsibly. A lot of persons really show the gratitude for an organization such as ours versus some of those schemes we have seen pop up over the years. We have really withstanded the time. We are quite professional, and we do offer that quality service, and they have seen the gains in terms of investing in units with us. And this promotion is really ideal because we're focusing right now on the fathers. And before I forget, the fathers in this campaign, you have the opportunity of winning a grill kit. Ooh. Right? Yes. Right. So with purchasing the gift of units for the father, Unit Trust Corporation will enter you into a chance of winning that grill combo kit. Right? It's the ultimate grill kit where you get a heavy duty grill. You do get an apron. You get the utensils for the cooking, as well as we will provide you with that ultimate treasure chest, as I call it, a cooler, a grand cooler that you could fill with your beverages and line with the boys, So it's things like this that unit trust we would involve ourselves in to really not only build wealth for you, but also reward our valued clients and find a way to bring on board new clients and show them that, there's a lot of positiveness in investing now for your future.
And in terms of becoming a member of the unit trust or opening an account, what are the basic requirements?
Oh, it's very simple. You come in with one form of ID, your proof of address, which definitely could be a utility bill in your name or a bank statement in your name. If it's not in your name, you would definitely get a letter from the utility bill holder giving authorization that you could use the utility bill as proof of address, as well as you would walk with your job letter or your payslip, right? So the combination of those three items, you come into us and we establish the account.
And what about children?
Yeah. So anybody under the age of 18 will not be able to open an account for themselves. However, an adult can open an account for a child, right? And that way they can contribute to the child's future. And they can encourage any other family members or friends to contribute via that same account towards the child's future.
Good, very good. So you have the whole family covered.
Definitely.
So this sounds like a corporate responsibility, ensuring that persons are kind of involved in saving, investing, and growing. As you mentioned earlier, of course, financial growth and stability as well. So I must applaud the unit trust for that as well, and thank you so much. In closing, is there any additional information you'd like to share with our viewers this morning?
Oh, definitely. So if you're hearing about the gift of units for the first time, this campaign runs up until June 30th. The specific campaign for Father's Day runs until June 30th, but the gift of units are available all year round for any occasion that you see fit. It could be for graduation, which is right around the corner. You want to gift units to a young one. It's wedding season, as we say. You want to gift that bride or that groom. The gift of units is applicable across all those areas. But today we're speaking about that ultimate grill boss kit that a dad has the opportunity to win once it is you come in and you purchase those gift of units between now and June the 30th. His name is entered into the bin with all the names, and he can walk away with this ultimate heavy-duty barbecue grill kit.
Absolutely amazing stuff. Well, Dexter, thank you so much for joining us this morning and giving us that information and insight in terms of course, investing and the opportunity for financial growth and the stability of the unit trust as well. As you said, it's been here for over 40 years.
Definitely.
And so we thank you for that, and we do wish you all the very best in your future endeavors with the unit trust.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've been Sister Sandy, and of course, you heard it right here that fathers can win the ultimate grill set. So it's not too late. You have until June 30th to buy the gift of units. We'll be right back after the break, but before we go, we invite you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live.
Tobago. This Labor Day, June 19th, API Music and Timeless Vibes Promotions kicks off Tobago Jazz Music and Golf Weekend 2025 with Plymouth Love, featuring Jazz at Dawn, 6:30 a.m. till noon, with Franz Job, Prince Unique, and much more. Then kicking it old school, 6 p.m. to midnight, featuring Oscar B, Andre J. Donowa, Joe Archer, and a very special guest, K. Alan Maloney, all at Plymouth Tennis Court Car Park. This entire celebration is in support of K's medical expenses. Just $200 per event, or experience both events for only $300. Tickets are available at Barcode, Nalandes Bar, and Island E-Tickets. Events supported by Frankie Tours, Bermuda's Biscuits, Tobago Updates, Street 91.9, Radio Toco, Stone Tower Studio, Eye for Design, and Click. Plymouth Love, one community, sunrise to sunset.
Tobago, this is your chance to lock in the brunch experience of the summer. Sun up.
Real bad girl, get knocked.
The Brunch Inclusive Edition, the ultimate party in the East, where vibrant flavors, refreshing cocktails, and electrifying vibes collide. It's happening on Saturday, July 5th from 3 p.m. at Deltec Compound, Argyle. Bring your coolers, bring your crew, and brunch, sip, and vibe in style. This is the flavorful escape you've been waiting for. Grab your tickets now at Barcode, Pablo Supermarket, Lost Restaurant and Lounge, Deltec Compound, and committee members. Son up! It's more than a brunch, it's an experience.
With Flow Business's new smart solutions, powered by super fast, reliable broadband, you'll feel like there are more versions of you working for you. From website design, development, and digital marketing to promote your business, 24/7 business class support to cloud solutions, security, and more. Multiply your growth today.
Quartz is well known as the Caribbean's largest retailer, providing consumers for generations with the very best products to enhance their homes. This year, we bring our expertise to businesses. Quartz Business Solutions will serve small, medium, and large companies with the very best products at the most competitive prices, backed by warranties and after-sales support. Hoteliers, office managers, restaurants, and so many more. Quartz Business Solutions, a brand of the Unicomer Group.
Hair goals, we've got them. At S&R Hair Fantasy, we provide a wide variety of quality hair, the latest hair accessories, adult toys, skin lightening products, female underwear, and much more under one roof. Check us out on Shelbourne Street in Plymouth or call us at 317-0808. We're open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. S&R Hair Fantasy for queens who know exactly what they want.
Welcome to Tobago Glass Supplies, where innovation meets excellence and service reigns supreme.
Well, I want a proper window for me house, yeah? I want no shake thing in my place.
Our commitment is simple: to provide high-quality, innovative aluminum, vinyl, and glass solutions for both commercial and residential spaces.
We get one wall on the side and we get one hole. You can put a window there, invent something, a window for put there.
At TGSL, we don't just meet needs, we exceed expectations. Our range includes the finest aluminum cladding options, setting new standards in durability and style.
Well, me need ya. Me don't know who I'm talking to, but I have the children, cousin Tufina tell me, for call all you go get proper thing for put there, me don't know.
Driven by our passion to elevate, we aim to be the leading supplier in the Caribbean market while retaining our identity as a family-owned business.
Driven? No, I ain't driving. I get a bus ticket. One of me pick me them go drop me down there. Must bring me down there. Russo Trace Sprinter down by the page down there.
Because at Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, it's not just about products, it's about relationships. It's about you.
It's all about me? Who's your family? You know Edna and Dorka and them, you know them, but you resemble them Edward boy and them Edward people them you.
Tobago Glass Supplies, Russo Trace Spring Garden, telephone number 639-6266. Innovation, quality, service. That's Tobago Glass Supplies Limited.
Saving up to go. Anything we not backing down, like a bomb we ready to explode. Ain't gonna wait until my back against the wall. Ain't gonna.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Are you in a dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam? You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity regarding your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports submitted by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public. You invest, we protect. Everyone benefits.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television, and thank you so much for staying with us. We begin conversations this morning by speaking with Councillor Petal Ann Roberts. She's the Secretary of Finance, Trade and the Economy, and we're talking about something very exciting this morning. We're talking about the THA Loan Guarantee Program launch. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Adana. Good morning to Tobago, to all the listeners this morning. Today is an exciting day for me.
It certainly is, and I'm sure for our viewers as well, because when you hear loan guarantee, you're thinking, access to funds.
Yes.
But we want to talk about what is this funds for? Because sometimes we want to access funds and we're not really accountable and responsible with the funds, right? So we're going to talk a little bit about what the loan is targeted at and who the target audience is and what the benefits, and just go through the whole conversation in terms of the program. So
Dana, let me try to simplify this as best as I can. We are not giving a loan. We are not giving any finance. The commercial banks who have signed up to this program, they will be issuing loans in their normal loan criteria. What we are doing is standing as a guarantor. We have collateral in an account for persons to access. Now, what will happen? First Citizens Bank Trustee Services, they are the administrator of our fund. So we have collaborated with First Citizens as the administrator for the fund. All we are doing is standing guarantee. It's really for registered Tobago businesses to access. They can apply for loans in the commercial bank for maybe repayment of a debt. They want to purchase machinery. They want to scale up. They want to pay off some taxes from the Board of Inland Revenue, any arrears that they may have. It's to purchase inventory. All of these things, they can go to the bank and we just stand as the guarantor. Now, the minimum loan guarantee is $750,000 and we go up to $3 million. And we will not fund in excess of 80% of the loan. So, it's an exciting time for Tobago because, you know, we have offered grants. At BDU, we offer loans, we offer equity financing. This time, we are taking a step back and allowing the banks to continue doing businesses and giving entrepreneurs an opportunity to access the loans from the bank, and we will just stand guarantee. Because sometimes, you know, you have an excellent business idea, you have an excellent craft, a skill, but you just don't have any collateral, anything to back the loan. And that is what the THA will be doing, standing in the gap for Tobagonians. We are allowing the bank to do the business, and we just stand as guarantor.
And you know, I didn't know exactly what the details were of the guarantee program, but I like it, and this is why I like it. Sometimes accessing funds is difficult because there's nobody to stand for you.
Yes.
And so the THA is now coming in to stand there to ensure that, listen, this person is verified, is a registered business,
Yes.
They need the money, give them the money, we'll stand the guarantee. So it's primarily for registered businesses, domiciled in Tobago,
domiciled and registered and
operating in Tobago.
Yes.
Right. And I like that because sometimes Tobago businesses feel as if they are left behind,
Yes.
that they aren't always considered, because sometimes some of the programs we have would say Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes.
And it would be fair open market for anybody in Trinidad and Tobago. But I appreciate the fact that this is focused on Tobago businesses. Now, you're saying that the minimum is $750,000. So let's talk about small businesses, because we know in Tobago, most of the businesses are really, really small businesses now trying to come up. And you mentioned the list of things that they can borrow these funds for. In terms of the THA's position as standing as a guarantor for the loans, what are the criteria that you're looking for to ensure that you say, listen, I will stand for this person, or I might not have to stand for this person, or they need to come with something more? What is the criteria?
Right. The thing is, we are allowing the banks to continue their criteria. So we are not getting involved in that. I have admonished, I've asked the banks, do not waver, do not compromise your policies on your granting of loans, and we expect that your criteria will continue. One thing I must say though, there's a national loan guarantee program that is directed towards tourism, and it's as a fallout of the COVID-19 pandemic. This loan guarantee program is for any business in Tobago. It's not only the tourism-based businesses, but any business. But remember, it's not as if it's open and you're approved just because you're a Tobagonian. You must go to the bank, and the bank will have their normal lending criteria, or we are doing a standing guarantee. So we are not getting involved. The only thing we are going to tell the banks that we would not want the guarantee or any loans or access to guarantee for is if you have to pay shareholders and you have to pay directors and those type of things. So there are just a few exempt, but basically to scale up your businesses, to advance the businesses, to transform your businesses, to grow your businesses, we are actually going to give you access to some collateral for that purpose.
I like the partnership. Here's why. Because sometimes the bank is independent.
Yes.
So the bank is independent of the THE, so they still have to... just before you came on, I was speaking with a representative of a financial institution, and of course they have their standards, they have their policies and their guidelines. And so I like the approach. Being there, but having a hands-off approach in terms of get your qualifications from the bank. So the bank now has to approve and determine whether or not they're going to give the individual the loan, the business the loan.
Absolutely. We are not getting involved in that. As I said, after the bank has done their due diligence, then we get involved in that. And we are taking a hands-off approach, really, and we're not getting involved in the process. The other thing, Adana, is the banks that have signed on to this program, I want to make this very, very clear, that there are only 3 banks so far. But my long-term vision is that credit unions and all the other financial institutions will sign on to this. But right now, we only have Republic Bank signed on, First Citizens Bank and Scotia Bank. Those are the 3. But as I said, the long-term goal, as you see this this program flourish and succeed, we'll see more businesses and financial institutions signing on to the program. But right now, those are the 3 that have signed on to loan guarantee.
And in terms of, as I mentioned before, some of the businesses in Tobago are small businesses, small, possibly medium. I'm not sure if we have large businesses on the island of Tobago. And so the minimum borrowing is, as I mentioned before, $750.
No, not the minimum borrowing. That's how much we will guarantee.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's how much we will guarantee.
Okay.
So it's a minimum of $750 and a maximum of $3 million, up to that amount.
So that clarifies that, because I was coming, I was kind of confused there, but that clarifies it. So the borrower can actually borrow any amount.
Any amount, and it's really the guarantee, the collateral that the bank is asking for. That is what we will stand for the entrepreneur.
Don't you guys think that this is amazing? I mean, the THA is, how much can the government do? Because sometimes we ask so many times, the government isn't doing this and the government isn't doing that. And here we are in a situation where there's some type of relief that is coming for small businesses on the island of Tobago. So, you can access access this facility. And I know the launch is taking place very soon, in the next couple of hours. So tell us about that.
Right. So the launch, we are launching it today. The partnership for me is momentous. We have always had very excellent relationships with the banks, and I think this will enhance that. Particularly for Citizens Bank, we do have a close relationship with them. Those are our bankers. But this will also allow us to solidify and enhance the relationship with the other banks. One other thing I forgot to mention, that the loan period is 7 years. So as the loan is repaid, the funds go back into the guarantee fund, and other persons can access. Also, we do intend to top up and increase the guarantee amount in the account every year. We do have an allocation. We have a line item called Loan Guarantee Program. So when the government gives us our parliamentary appropriation, obviously, we will supplement it if it doesn't have sufficient. Because, normally we will ask for a specific amount. We don't get it, and we normally shift funds around. So we intend to do that. Every year we're going to put some monies into the fund. The fund, though, this year starting with $25 million in this fiscal year.
Right. And you mentioned earlier that the national fund was strictly for tourism, and this one is for any industry at all.
Yes.
Once registered and operating here on the island.
And the banks, normal. I want to make that clear, because I don't want persons to think because they're Tobago businesses, they are entitled.
Okay.
So it's not really entitlement, it's really a privilege from the THA that we are offering, and it's really the bank doing the business with the business people of Tobago.
And the bank usually requires that you have your ducks in a row, so you have to have all your documentation, you have to be up to date with
and they do their due diligence as well. So those criteria will stand, and I am encouraging the banks to continue their robust due diligence practices and policies and procedures when lending to customers.
This is really, really, I must commend again the THA for this effort and all the efforts that they're putting, ensuring that the economy kind of comes back to a place where we feel a little bit more comfortable, because coming out of COVID, I know a lot of people are still struggling. Some have done well and some are still struggling. And so, I commend this opportunity that is now presented to businesses here on the island of Tobago. And I do hope that, you try to access what is made available for us. Those of you who are in business or even trying to start a business. And this is a question I should ask. Is the loan also for somebody? I guess it's not, because you said they have to be a registered business.
Yes, registered.
So it's not a business, and like a business that you just have a business idea and you want to start. It's not for that.
Well, the thing is, I don't know. As I said, it's the banks. They have their criteria. And I expect that they will uphold the highest standards in granting credits to customers. So we are encouraging businesses to get registered. As I said, we are not really getting involved, but we expect that the bank will do what is necessary to ensure that we comply as professional business people in Tobago.
And how does somebody access this facility in terms of the partnership that you now have with these banks?
Really and truly, it's the bank. It's between the bank and us.
Bank. Okay.
So, as I said, 3 banks have signed up with the loan guarantee program. The banks will do their usual, and then they will through the trustee services at First Citizens Bank, that is the really administrator. That's the advocate between the commercial bank and the THA. And they are the ones that will contact us and talk about the drawdown. So we do have an account where both the THA and the First Citizens Bank are administrators of that account, and that's where the funds are for the guarantee.
Okay, thank you so much for bringing that information to us, that exciting information for businesses here on the island of Tobago. So if you are a small business, a registered business here on the island of Tobago, you operate here, you are domiciled here, this facility is being made available to you through the partnership with the Tobago House of Assembly and 3 main banks here in Tobago: Scotiabank, First Citizens Bank, and Republic Bank. So you can access it there. The program is being launched today. So, from today, you should be able to have the conversation to see how you can benefit from the facility that is being provided. We have to go for a short break, and when we come back, we continue conversations, but we switch gears a little bit, and so we want you to be a part of it. Remember, the phone lines will be open after we come back from the break, as we have that discussion that you want to be a part of. Ask your questions and get your answers right here in real time here on the morning show on Tobago Updates Television. But in the meantime, we go for a short break, and as we go, we invite you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live.
Hello, New York. Are you ready to celebrate the essence of Crusoe land and the culture of Tobago? Well, get ready for Tobago Day in New York City, hosted by the Tobago Empowerment and Alliance Mission. Sunday, August 17th, 2025, Nazareth High School Courtyard, 475 East 57th Street, Brooklyn, New York. 12 noon to 8 p.m. We bring the Tobago vibes to the Big Apple. Live music, Tobago food, cultural performances, and family fun. So bring Tanty, Granny, the uncle, invite the whole neighborhood. Just bring everybody, and bring your significant other too. Come celebrate Tobago Day in New York City, Sunday, August 17th, Nazareth High School Courtyard. I forget to tell all you, it's the 10th anniversary celebration. For more information, call 929-327-7857 or check Team's Facebook and Instagram pages, Team Tobago Day.
Do you think you know Premier League or Champions League football? What about international cricket or the IPL and CPL? How about NBA basketball? Well, now you can put your skills to work to earn some extra cash by betting on the games with TT Bet Arena. Simply go to our website, choose a sport you want to bet on, find the games, and place your bets. And with your computer or mobile device, you can bet from anywhere. Just go to ttbetarena.com, sign up for a free account, make a deposit, and start betting. It's that simple. You can even qualify for our $2,000 sign-up bonus. We also have horse racing, plus live casino games where you can bet using TT dollars. And check our new Tobago location at 7B Milford Road, Crown Point. For more info, call or WhatsApp 494-0634. TT Bet Arena, the #1 sports betting company in Trinidad and Tobago.
Dance Ensemble Tobago presents our signature event, Tobago Dance Sport Championship and Dancing with the Caribbean Stars. Lights, cameras, dance, our 12th edition on Saturday the 12th of July, 5 p.m. The Shore Park Cultural Complex Auditorium. See our dancers, all ages, compete in waltz, jive, rumba, salsa, mambo, and much more. Our Dancing with the Caribbean Stars. Who will take home the Mirrorball Trophy? Mrs. Takiana Ned Augustine, the wife of the Chief Secretary of the Tobago House of Assembly. Miss Lynette Louis, vocalist entertainer. Mrs. Cassandra Thompson Forbes, journalist and Tobago correspondent. Mr. Javon Carrington, founder and head trainer of Dosfit Studios. And Mr. Julian Skeet, administrator and former TV host. After show, dance party with DJ Santa out of Trinidad. Early bird tickets, adults $200, children $75, and general tickets, adults $250 and children $100. Get your early bird tickets now from Dance Ensemble members, D&D Jewelers at Tobago United Cooperative, Milford the 24 gas station in Canaan, and the Shore Park Cultural Complex box office. For more information, you call 772-9049 and 340-5758. You can't miss this one.
So guys, there are some new developments in housing in Tobago. So it's goat racing time. This is 116, the show that keeps you in the know with all things Tobago House of Assembly. Each week, 116 delivers a fun and engaging overview of the latest developments, achievements, activities, and events of our dynamic assembly. So join me. Let's dive into the Tobago House of Assembly's Week in Review right here on 116.
Tobago. This Labor Day, June 19th, API Music and Timeless Vibes Promotions kicks off Tobago Jazz Music and Golf Weekend 2025 with Plymouth Love, featuring Jazz at Dawn, 6:30 a.m. till noon, with Franz Job, Prince Unique, and much more. Then kicking it old school, 6 p.m. to midnight, featuring Oscar B, Andre J. Donowa, Joe Archer, and a very special guest, K. Alan Maloney, all at Plymouth Tennis Court Car Park. This entire celebration is in support of K's medical expenses. Just $200 per event, or experience both events for only $300. Tickets are available at Barcode, Nalandez Bar, and Island E-Tickets. Events supported by Frankie Tours, Bermuda's Biscuits, Tobago Updates, Street 91.9, Radio Toco, Stone Tower Studio, Eye Design, and Click. Plymouth Love, one community, sunrise to sunset.
When the game is on, you don't want to miss the best moments. With AMPLIA TV, you can enjoy our ultimate sports package and watch your favorite games on the go. Stay connected and informed with sports news, scores, and stats with AMPLIA's fastest internet speeds. Up to 1 gigabyte fiber internet, you can stream riveting football action, cricket, NBA games, and much more. With AMPLIA, it's game on. Visit amplia.co.tt or call 800-4663. AMPLIA. Do more, live more.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back. Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television, and thank you so much for staying with us. We continue conversations this morning in studio. We still have with us Councillor Petal Ann Roberts, and she's the Secretary of Finance, Trade and the Economy. And we also have with us Mr. Anselm Richards, and he's the Chief Technical Advisor of the same division. And this morning we're going to be talking about budget. As you are aware, we made the announcement right here on the morning show that the budget, the THA budget, will be presented on the 23rd of June. That's next week, Monday. And of course, you want to be a part of the conversation. They are here in studio this morning, and we're going to be going through the phases. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Well, welcome back and welcome to you, Mr. Richards. And so we had you on last week, I think it was, or the week last week, and we were talking about the budget presentation and your adaptation for this year's presentation in terms of providing an abridged version, focusing on 5 main pillars, 5 main areas. I just want to do a little recap of that so that we could bring our viewers up to speed so they know where we are where that is concerned.
Well, I don't want the public to think that because it is a shortened version, it will compromise the quality and what Tobago really wants for the next fiscal year. The budget was really framed on we have a strategic pathway, so we have some 21 development agenda priorities. We have also started to use strategic selectivity, where we outline specific projects and programs that have high impact. Also, we asked CARTAC, which is managed by the IMF, it's the Caribbean Regional Technical Assistance Center. We asked them to do some assessment of some of the areas in the THA, and one of them is budget, the budget processes. Out of that, they did a diagnostic assessment of our how we budget, our whole budget process. And then they also did some training of the budget staff and the planning staff. Coming out of that, we received a report from CARTAC that outlined some recommendations for us, and there were several. But you know, with change and reform, it would take some time. I can't implement everything at the same time. So one of the low-hanging fruits for me was to change the way in which we budget, and they recommended that. They found that it was so cumbersome and complex that we come and we outline a budget identifying all our initiatives and priorities, and then we come back again in October and we do the same thing. So in that vein, I decided to implement the recommendation where they said, all right, speak broadly, speak on a macro level, give us your policy prescriptions, and then in October you get into the details after the national budget is ready. Only after the national budget is ready and the appropriation bill turns into an act, then you would know Tobago House of Assembly is going to be allocated 2.5 billion for recurrent, 300 million for DP, URP, etc. And at that point, that is where we will outline in detail what our plans. Now, we do know what we want to do, but we cannot seamlessly and accurately apply the amounts, because budget is activity and versus values or numbers or costs. So therefore, this year, I'll be speaking broadly on some areas. There are some key areas, and I want to go through those key areas again. And those key areas are tourism and the creative sector, because we feel that this is the cornerstone of Tobago's economy. Agriculture, food security, food sovereignty, that's another area. Digitization. The globe is going in a direction, and it's not a luxury, it's now a necessity to compete and to do business in the world today. So digitization and advancing that, using technology in all our core areas, human capital development. Since I've become secretary, I find that people need training, people need reskilling and upskilling, and not only in public service delivery, but our SME sector, our small business, our entrepreneurs, they want to have access to how to market, how to do pricing of their goods and services, just about which taxes are they eligible or they're supposed to pay. Bookkeeping, how to do your financial statements, how to do a cash flow forecast, how to do a proposal, a plan, a strategic plan. So we want to invest in our people and design some targeted programs for training, and also in the community, under community development we'll do some vocational skills training. So training will be across the board in all areas, all divisions, right? We'll have access to training in the public service area, on the tourism, on the SMEs, on the community development, in our communities, training. Infrastructure is another area. As you look around Tobago, you recognize the public infrastructure needs some upliftment. So public infrastructure and housing. We want to look at, and a key for us is the coastal works that are long overdue. Coastal restoration works, because we are an island and the coastline erodes, and we need to do things to stymie that, to protect our coastline. And finally, the last area, there's one more area that is not coming to me right now, because I've been doing so much. I've been going over the budget over and over and over and over. But those are the areas. So it's infrastructure, digital technology, agriculture, food security, food sovereignty, tourism, human capital development. There's one more. It's just not coming to me right now.
That's all right. And it seems as if it kind of covers all the areas that we're looking at. I just want to say to our viewers that our phone lines are open, and you can call 284-6597 if you want to be a part of the conversation. You can ask your questions, make your comments, and your suggestions, whatever you want this morning. While we have with us this morning the Secretary of Finance, Trade and Economy, and the Technical Advisor, we're going through Budget 2025. Sorry?
I do remember what's it.
Here we are. We remember now.
Investment in SME and MSME sector, right? So we want to focus on that sector in terms of, so we have the loan guarantee program. We have started already with the loan guarantee program, as well as other initiatives for the micro, small, and medium enterprise sector. So those are the key areas that we're going to focus on. I don't want to I want the public to understand that there are other areas that are important, but these are key. So, for instance, we have housing. Well, I didn't indicate housing and settlements and all these social programs, health, education. These are also very critical. But we do also have some areas whereby we feel that these areas will accelerate growth and stabilize the economy. We want to focus on those areas.
All right, great. I know it was mentioned, I think it was yesterday, that the national budgets, there might be an increase to $3.1 billion in the national budget, and also that $32 million will be made available to the THE. And Mr. Richards, I see you smirking there. So this is where I'll bring you in on the conversation in your capacity in terms of how does the $32 million, which is promised at this stage to the THA, going to impact the disbursement of, in terms of the line out of the THA budget?
Well, the $32 million is really for the current budget process, right? And that is really a portion or appropriated for reaching the outstanding liabilities that comes with the change in salaries for senior public officers in terms of the SRE and government officials, like the ex-secretaries and so forth. So that is not really available to us to really drive some economic transformation. Those have to pay outstanding liability. But for me, there is a concern for us in Tobago about the allocation. I think that there needs to be a conversation on this issue, because if you do the arithmetic or the maths, you will recognize that is just 1% of the proposed increase in the midterm review of $3.1 billion, and Tobago is entitled to a minimum of 5.1. So I think there is some money in Port of Spain for Tobago to collect from this new government, and I hope that we will collect that money on behalf of the people of Tobago. There is no letting up here. We stand resolute that Tobago must get its fair share, and we are going to turn up every required activity response to ensure that the people of Tobago are not shortchanging their just due in any national process, be it the budget or anything else that requires a disbursement to the people of Tobago.
And I'm happy that you cleared up the $32 million, because I know sometimes, the average person might hear, oh, we have an increase of $32 million, and they're thinking, oh, we could use it to do X, Y, Z. But there's a specific reason, and they did mention what the specific reason was for. So now that viewers, I hope you're following the conversation and you understand that this is why is my tongue tied this morning? Is it because we're talking about money?
Yes.
But it is for a specific reason, and it doesn't add to any fund that will work in terms of development or any new initiative or any new program. It doesn't contribute to anything new. So it really
is people's money, It's Joel Jack and them fellas who was there before, who benefiting from the thing is money to pay them, to give them, that have nothing to really do to the people of Tobago. And that makes the situation in terms of the allocation to Tobago even more concerning, because I'm saying you cannot increase expenditure in Trinidad on education by $700 million. And we have the similar responsibility for education in Tobago and didn't give us 7 cents. That just can't cut it. Regardless of who you are in Port of Spain, there is a thing called justice and fairness.
Correct. And, Secretary, in terms of, I know you mentioned you had conversations with the Minister of Finance, and, it seemed promising. And now we're in a situation where we're preparing for budgets, we're preparing for allocations, and we always have issues. Administration come, administration go, minister come, secretary come, whomever. We always have challenges where Tobago always at the end of, we didn't get enough, we wanted more, we asked for more, we presented a proposal, we told you what we wanted, and we couldn't get it. Sometimes we've even heard conversations about the relationship isn't good, and because we have two different administrations, one is pulling and one is tugging. And how do you intend to approach the situation now? I know you started off having conversations. How do you intend to approach the situation now to ensure that you have a good bargaining point where you can go before them and say, listen, these are the things we really have to get done, and we want to see an increase here, and we have to see an increase here. And not just that, what is legally owed to us in the Tobago space in terms of our releases for the budgets?
Well, I did have initial, as I told you, we did have conversation with the minister 2 weeks ago. And the conversation started with the financial position of the country. And that is how the minister started. He indicated that we are not at a good place. He does wish that he can give us, a particular, not particular, because we didn't speak specifics in terms of how much they would allocate to Tobago. But I did say how much we intend to, we are projecting to get from them. We did speak about the SRC. I asked him if that was really, really necessary. He said at this point in time, they could not turn back and not pay the arrears from the Salary Reviews Commission increases that were proposed to for government officials and senior public officers. So how I intend to do that, how I have always done it. I have spoken to him, even up to yesterday, the day before the weekend, he and I had a conversation. And he did indicate how difficult it was for him to allocate. I had asked for 5.1%. I even went down to 4.35% at this point in time. But he did indicate his difficulties. I must express my disappointment because I feel that the 32 million will not impact the people of Tobago on a large scale. But we continue to have the conversation with the minister.
All right. 5.1, I mean, a lot of people might be saying that is unrealistic because we know we ask for this and we always get significantly lower than what we ask for. In terms of you standing your ground and, defending your case that, listen, we need 5.1, this is what I'm going to be asking for, whether you have it or not, I can justify my position. How do you present that to the Tobago space when people are saying, this is unrealistic, we're shooting too high and we're going to come back and say we didn't get what we want and so we can't do the projects that we have implemented? Because sometimes they say that is an excuse. You're not going to get it. You ask for too much and then you come back and say because we didn't get enough, we can't do the projects. How do you intend to mitigate that situation?
Adana, Tobago has significant development needs. As a matter of fact, we have so much catching up to do in the country to our big sister on the other side, Trinidad. And we will continue to say what Tobago needs. Whether people think it's too high, too low, we will make the assessment. We are working on behalf of the people of Tobago. We have had consultations. We know what the needs are. We know what we want to do for Tobago. And we will continue to push the envelope. In no uncertain terms, we will just continue to make our requests, let the government know exactly what Tobago needs. Whether an individual think it's too much, too low, it's a wish list. That is what we will ask. We will continue to ask for what Tobago needs and what Tobago deserves. The metric right now is the percentage is based on the population share, Tobago's population share of the national population. Right now, Tobago's population share as a share of the national population is 5.1%. I have said to the minister already, at minimum, we are not going to accept anything less than that. He did indicate at the media it is very, very difficult because I don't know if you looked at the Standing Finance Committee hearing and the committee hearing yesterday. There are a lot of liabilities with regard to legal fees. Legal fees are extremely high. The former administration, they had a lot of debt financing, a lot of bond repayments have to be done right now. There are a lot of contract employment and employees who have to get paid. I saw where they're paying salaries for contract officers. And then this SRC. Across most of the ministries is this SRC increase on the arrears that must be paid. As far as I'm aware, the minister did indicate that the arrears, they started to pay already. At this point, they have to continue. Because for me, I did indicate to him, I want to see funding for the development of the people of Tobago, the development of Tobago, and therefore for me, that was not a priority. I said that to him categorically, that this is not important for us. right now, but he indicated that, on a priority scale for the government, they have to continue this payment or they may face some kind of legal action.
What a state that we are in right now, ladies and gentlemen. We have to go for a short break. We continue conversations this morning. We're talking about the THA budget presentation, where we are, our relationship with the Ministry of Finance, how we're going to approach things, and what we're going to do with what we have. Stay tuned as we continue our conversations. But in the meantime, we have to go for a short break, and we ask you to help us share the live, share the live, share the live.
Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes. For breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, buljoil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules, or if you are having a cooking day off.
Are you ready to celebrate the essence of Crusoe land and the culture of Tobago? Well, get ready for Tobago Day in New York City, hosted by the Tobago Empowerment and Alliance Mission, Sunday, August 17, 2025, Nazareth High School Courtyard, 475 East 57th Street, Brooklyn, New York, 12 noon to 8 p.m. We bring the Tobago vibes to the Big Apple. Live music, Tobago food, cultural performances, and family fun. So bring Tanty, Granny, the uncle, invite the whole neighborhood. Just bring everybody and bring your significant other too. Come celebrate Tobago Day in New York City, Sunday, August 17th, Nazareth High School Courtyard. But hey, I forget to tell all you, it's with 10th anniversary celebration. For more information, call 929-327-7857 or check Team's Facebook and Instagram pages, Team Tobago Day.
on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television, and thank you so much for staying with us. Remember, the phone lines are open so you can call to be a part of the conversation this morning as we continue speaking about the THA budget presentation. We have in studio with us this morning the Secretary of Finance, Trade and the Economy, and also the technical advisor. They are both here and we're having the conversation. And before we went to the break, we were talking about the percentage share for Tobago, and there's a legal reason. There's a legal bracket that we're supposed to be getting, and we were talking about the fact that some people might say that you're shooting too high, you're aiming too high. And I really want to go through, Mr. Richards, I'll bring you in here. I really want to go through the brackets that is legally allowed to Tobago, and also to identify why that 5.1% is what we are targeting to be released to us for our budget for this fiscal year.
Okay, so if we go back a bit in history, you will recognize that this issue of Tobago's fair share of the national budget is not a new issue, right? It started in earnest under the Hutch Charles administration, when he took the then administration in Port of Spain to the Dispute Resolution Commission. He activated the provision for the Dispute Resolution Commission because in the designers of the Tobago House Assembly Act predicted that issues like this would have happened, and then they created a legal mechanism by which this should be resolved, which is called the Dispute Resolution Commission. In 2000, the Dispute Resolution Commission ruled in that matter that Tobago should receive, and when it said Tobago, it said the allocation to the Tobago House of Assembly to meet its statutory and legal obligation to the people of Tobago should fall between the range of 4.03% and 6.9% of the national budget. At the time of the ruling, the island population, the people in Tobago, constituted 4.03% of the national population. So that was the baseline for the range that was established by the Dispute Resolution Commission and approved by the National Parliament, and had formed the basis for the allocation to the Tobago House Assembly from since then to date. The spread between 4.03% and the 6.9% was provided for to take care of some social and economical, historical issue that was impacting Tobago, like the lack of or the absence of the economic driver, the absence of tertiary education institution, and the need to give Tobago a little bit more to drive its socio-economic development. So that was the formula. From 2000 to 2021, the Tobago population have grown consecutively to 5.1% of the national budget. So from fiscal 2022, Tobago should have been receiving 5.1% of the national budget based on the ruling and the formula that was established by the Dispute Resolution Commission. The Chief Secretary of this administration wrote to the Prime Minister in January of 2023, highlighting this position to him and asking for us to meet to resolve this issue. And if he refused to meet, then we will activate the Dispute Resolution Commission. We'll go back to the Dispute Resolution Commission so that body can resolve this matter and tell Port of Spain legally that you need to give the Tobago House Assembly 5.1%. The then Prime Minister did not.
Mr. Richards, I'm enjoying the education that we have here, but there's a call on the line, and we want to take the call on the line this morning. Caller, you are live on the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television.
All right, thank you for taking my call. I am very much interested in the conversation and what is being said this morning, and the trajectory of the Division of Finance headed by Mr. Roberts there. Now, coming out of COVID, and the drastic downturn in Tobago's economy. And I'm seeing that there is a move to improve Tobago's economy by the use of funding of SMEs and so forth. What I'm interested in is the loan guarantees, collateral issues, the recapitalization of persons' businesses, because business persons are having a difficult time meeting their financial commitments on a daily or weekly or monthly basis. How does the Secretary intend to assist business persons, not only SMEs, but persons who want to improve their businesses so that it can be really stronger in terms of significant investments like over $3 million, $6 million, $7 million, $10 million to actually compete with the manufacturing sector in Trinidad? What role does COVE play? Because the conditionalities set up by COVE for building and setting up business down there is very, very onerous. And it prevents business persons from quickly moving into the development of their businesses. I've seen one businessman in particular taking about 6 months to have his application approved. And, that is not good for business. And therefore, I want the Secretary to tell us some more about that, and if you can have a speedier determination of people's applications. So we have those two areas, and then we have where is the Tobago Development Bank today? I remember, and I reveal myself now, not that you haven't guessed, when I was the Secretary for Cooperatives, I had started through Executive Council note /minute for the establishment of a Tobago Development Bank. I was the first Secretary to do that. So it's a new idea. So you have that other avenue. So will the Secretary be putting money into Tobago Development Bank, where today is the venture capital facility, and will she be putting money into, say, like cooperatives and other banks with conditionalities set by the Division of Finance? Because when you go to those financial institutions like the established banks, all of us have been short on meeting our income, and then you can't get the loan. So I'm hopeful that the Secretary can perhaps, because they already established lenders, particularly the credit unions, will she be willing to place sums of money into the credit unions with conditionalities set by the Division of Finance, and you pay them a fee, administrative fee, for dispensing the loan facilities. And because we don't have the capacity within the Division of Finance to lend money, it takes long. So better you put it into those credit unions and banks, pay them administrative fee, so as to free up the work of the Division of Finance, which can just relegate itself to monitoring and for accounting purposes. So I've said a mouthful there. Can the Secretary and her advisor speak to those issues if you are clear in what I was saying?
All right. So, well,
let me start. I will allow Mr. Richards to speak on COVE, because Mr. Richards is also on the board of directors of COVE, so I'll let him talk about it, and then he can also expound after I respond. So I want to thank the caller for the mouthful. He said a lot. I hope I will be able to respond. But, on a broad level, I feel that he spoke about investments in businesses, putting money in the cooperative, putting money. I feel as if we have to balance that act and provide the technical support. I've served in the Division of Finance for a number of years. On the technical front, I've been a director on the Venture Capital Board. And I've seen us pump millions into businesses and they have failed. I think we need to balance it. So, yes, we are doing the loan guarantee program. Yes, the Tobago Development Fund is at an advanced stage. We are not yet ready to open because we are still doing the work of collapsing 2 of our departments into the fund. We are right now, our consultant is working with one of the companies to fold up the operations and start the fund. We also have to do recruitment for our CEO and that kind of thing. So we are advanced stage, we have registered the company and all of that. We're still trying to ensure that there's a seamless transition from our 2 entities, the 2 main entities that will form part of the fund, into this new organization. And I'm not a type of person that rushes and does things in a particular way. We want to see it done well, done properly, and ensure that all the HR matters are dealt with and so forth. So for me, critical for me and top priority is to ensure that there is support, not only financial, but technical support. I feel that Tobago's businesses have not positioned themselves in that way just yet. So I've already collaborated with a lot of entities for next fiscal to start that training and upskilling and the hand-holding. I think that even venture capital requires a fund manager and also like a management consultant, because a lot of businesses who have fantastic ideas and they have an excellent craft and they have an excellent skills just don't know how to run a successful business. So that is one of the areas I'll be focusing on, and not necessarily pumping resources. I will also allow with the loan guarantee program for the banks to do what is necessary, and I want the business people to come up to a particular standard with your financials, with your business plans, with actually operating a business in a way that you will be viable and successful in Tobago. With the issue with Cove, I'll allow Mr. Richards to respond to that, because I know that there's an issue in terms of the approval process to operate in Cove at this time that stemmed from years ago. So I'll allow Mr. Richards to respond to that, and anything that I have not been able to touch, Mr. Richards will also touch on that.
All right. So the issue with onboarding clients in terms of businesses in Cove, there is an established process for that, because Cove is an industrial estate, and it's not just that you apply today and then by tomorrow the gate is open and you are in with your trucks and your machinery and so forth, because there are health concerns. You have to have the right built space for the business and so forth. So there's a process for that. Also, there's some legal issues in terms of how you do the leases and what the leases can be used for, whether you can use the lease land for collateral and all of that. So there's a myriad of issues that we are working through at Cove to ensure that when a client is onboarded, all the required supporting requirements are in place, so that that client or that business will land running and become a very successful business. So it's a process, right? And the process has to be implemented both in the interest of Cove and the interest of the client. So it's not that Cove is deliberately delaying the process to delay business, because Cove mandate is to really populate the industrial park. And it's an eco-industrial park where we are doing light manufacturing that are environmentally clean, if you want to do that, clean or green manufacturing, if you want to call it. That's a new concept that they are using now. So that's the process at Cove. There is an inherited issue with some legality with the whole issue of how you do these leases and so forth. That is being worked out. We have engaged a council, and the process is being sorted out. And that is an inherited situation from donkey years ago, as old people will say, that we are now sorting out legally, so that when the clients receive their legal document in terms of their tenancy, it is legally potent, right? So that's an issue. So that's the issue with Cove. We are also looking at building more build spaces, and we are looking at the application before the company and what type of businesses are applying for spaces, build spaces, so that these factory shelf can be designed, purposefully designed to meet the requirement of that type of business operation. In terms of, and I just want to segue into the issue of the loan guarantee and the Tobago Development Bank. And probably for clarity for not only for the caller, but also for the other listening persons to this program. The Tobago Development Bank is the same project that is called the Tobago Development Fund. Right? So, and as Secretary said, that project is very advanced. We have produced a body of policies to regulate the operation of this fund that is now being reviewed by the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank and the Central Bank of Trinidad and Tobago, because the governance issues are critical for the integrity of a financial institution. So that is going. There's also a seamless requirement to fold up some of the institution, because we have seen in the Tobago space that the Venture Institute project has not worked the way it was designed to work or intended to work, and therefore we are folding that into the operation of the fund, or the bank, if you want to call it that. Also, the BDU operation also has not worked the way, because there are technical reports on those programs that have not conveyed the successes that we were looking for from those investments. So we are also revisiting those programs and make them part of the operation of the Tobago Development Bank, so you can provide a wider spectrum of financial instruments to the Tobago business community, as what the caller is talking about. We have looked at the issue of providing funding or getting the credit union involved in this loan, but there are legal impediments to the credit union getting in something. I don't know if the caller can recall, because he said that he was the secretary responsible for credit unions, right, at one time, and he took a note. But credit unions are the bar from providing commercial loans legally, right? They are designed to lend to individuals and not companies. So that's a legal blockage for that to happen. There are discussions taking place now for the updating and modernizing of the Credit Union Act or laws, but that is reaching some to and fro with the credit union movement. So that's the position. So the work is being done. We are very well advanced down the road in terms of the Tobago Development Bank. We are also well advanced in terms of our strategy as how we will incorporate our existing financial support services to the business sector into these operations, because at the end of the day, we don't want to have a splinter set of ecosystem of financial services all over the place and diluting the impact you want to create. Because if you try to do small things, the impact will be very diluted. What we are trying to do is to build a big spectrum, a powerful financial services institution that will provide that kind of support to businesses in Tobago, so that the impact of that institution operating in the Tobago space will create the kind of transformation in terms of our social and economic development that the island dreadly needs at this particular point in time.
Right. There's a lot. You said a lot there, and the caller is still on the line, and the caller is caller, are you there?
Yes, I'm particularly worried that a location can take 6 months. So that's in inefficiency in them, because time, as you would know, as people are looking for capital to do their business. So I'm suggesting to Mr. Richards that I understand the issues of health and all of it, but when a man is looking for money and is looking to establish it in 6 months, to have a loan a space at Cove approved to set up his business, to me is extraordinarily long, and time is of the essence that he is doing. I'm not knocking him, I'm just saying that we could look at that and bring down the timeline, let's say maybe 2 to 3 months. I'll be very pleased with that. And then hang on.
I don't think that the timeline is set by Cove for 6 months, because it depends on how fast the client provides the required document and information that impacts his application. So it's not that the standard process is that you take 6 months. I think it is on a case-to-case basis, because there will be some to and fro with the client in terms of the required information that Cove needs to make an informed decision. So it's not that the process is designed to take 6 months, but it depends on how fast the applicant provide the required information that will satisfy the conditionality for his onboarding at the facility.
So if it is that the client has all his ducks lined up, the straight line, as we see.
Well, I don't think it will be a 6 months process. It might be a 6 days process in that case.
All right.
Okay.
And to me, there are significant costs that are attached. I'd be happy if you all can solve the issue of the utilization of the Cove, plus that can be given out for collateral purposes, because today people don't have that kind of a collateral to invest in an enterprise that might be, say, $3 million, $4 million, $5 million. And then this is my last question to the Secretary. What are we looking at in terms of the development loans? Are we looking at, let's say, in terms 4 million, 10 million? What's the bracket? What's the perhaps the ceiling level that you all are willing to lend, so people can say, all right, I can get some kind of loan up to 10 million or 15 million, and that kind of thing. Because Tobago is in a developmental mode, and business persons like myself need money. We are going through significant difficulties, and the recapitalization for businesses critical to our survival and survival for employees and that kind of thing. So I want to see a little loosening, not so much tightening of the collateral issues. Could you see what the ceiling is of those loans that people will come for? Is it 6 million, 5 million, so we can plan? I'd be delighted for our discussion.
All right, caller, thank you so much for that contribution. That question again, I will hand over to Mr. Richards if you are able to respond.
I'll respond because we're not giving loans. I've said it again with the loan guarantee program. We are not granting loans. We are just standing as a guarantor up to $3 million. So the caller did ask, what's the, I don't know if he's asking how much loans giving out. We are not giving any loans. We are guarantees. So you go to your commercial bank with your proposal, and one of the criteria is that you must have that collateral. I don't know if that is what he was talking about or he meant in the Tobago Development Fund, because we are not at that point yet with the Tobago Development Fund in terms of the size and the portfolio of our products and services. We are not there just yet. But if he's talking about the loan guarantee program, we are guaranteeing up to 80% of the loan, and the maximum that we'll guarantee is $3 million. Right? But I cannot say for the bank how much they are intending to lend with a ceiling of $3 million. I cannot say, right? So I want to continue to emphasize that we expect the banks to continue with their rigid and robust criteria, right? Lending criteria.
Due diligence.
Yes. All right. So we have a question from a WhatsApp question from one of our viewers. It asks, what measurable outcomes are expected if the 5.1 budget allocation is approved? Oh, and I see we have a caller. Before we take that question, we have a caller. So let's go to the caller.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning and welcome.
Yes, good morning. I just want to say very good event to Ms. Petter for the great job that you have been doing. Are you hearing me?
Thank you. Yes, I'm hearing you.
But I am a disheartened Tobagonian, and I direct this directly to Mr. Richards, because I started a process to get property in Cove and was allotted a piece of property. It's a year now since I'm not getting my lease. As a young Tobagonian starting a business, you wasn't seeking the interest of me, the tenant that is still waiting for a lease and spending my money, where you will offer the process whereby you can use the land as collateral. The bank was willing to finance the project, but because of legal issues that you all are having, it still stands that I can't have my lease. My project is on hold. My money is going down the drain. And no one from your board was able to call and say, this is what is happening. It's disheartening to hear that you all are still saying a person could use the land as collateral, and that is not the case. And this is not to the secretary, because she has done her very good job, and this is not to you, it's better, but this is to the person sitting next to you. So what recourse could be done for someone like that?
Well, before Mr. Richards respond, thank you very much, caller. But as secretary, I have to take full responsibility as the EID cut is under my purview. The chairman did bring to my attention the issue with the leases and the ability to use the deed. right? There are some legal challenges that stem, I think, from since the inception of the park, when the park was being developed. I know it is a legal challenge right now for the company. I would not say that Mr. Richards is to blame, because I know that the board have been working on this challenge, and I will put it at the forefront. I'll have this as a priority action item for EID cut, as you know, for the new term for that board. So I don't know if Mr. Richards wanted to, because I don't know if Mr. Richards wanted to get into the details because of the legal implications of this matter. Yeah. But at least he can explain to the public what the issue is with, you know, the land deed and accessing lands at Cove.
So it has to do, caller. There are two types of conveyance. So if you are conveying lands from what you call the RPO or certificate of title, you have to use what you call a memorandum of transfer. And then if you are going from a root deed, you use a deed. And there was a misclassification of the transfer years ago in terms of the lands that was transferred to the THA for Cove. And therefore we have to do a rectification of the transfer of the land, because that is impacting, especially for clients who have applied for lands to do their development for their specific business. That is having implication of how they can utilize that land as collateral. This administration has approved the utilization of lands for collateral for the business to get access to capital for the development of the business in the park. And that is what the fund must be used for. So we have set the train in motion, but when that project and that program started and the banks start doing their background check on the deed, then we recognize that there's a legal issue in terms of how the land was conveyed to the THA and then to Cove, the company. And therefore that process has to be rectified, and that is where the legal challenge is. So it's not that we are intentionally keeping an application for a year, because it wouldn't make sense that we issue a deed of lease for a property that you cannot use and you don't have real holding or any material possession of it, because the title is just not correct. And therefore we have to rectify that, and the processes will flow smoothly and legally from there.
The caller is still on the line.
Yeah.
Caller, go ahead.
But you see, I understand that. But you started a process, meaning in order to get a lease of intent, the person have to pay 4,000 something, not knowing that you had legal issues, right? You know, going to where just now, going to my financial institution, trusting your process, that at the end of the day, you can use the land as collateral. I went to a financial institution, and the other problem is that you have to evaluate the land, right? I spend money to evaluate your land, you knowing that you have legal issues. Who is compensating me for that? Who is compensating me for the money and the time lost? And yes, Mr. I know you said you would take, but this problem arise before you come there. So I'm leaving you out, right? At the end of the day. And it's very hurtful, because as a young business person, there's no consideration.
Caller, let me just explain to you, right? The problem of the title issue came to life only last year when we approved, because remember, it is only last year the approval was granted by the Executive Council, because the current board made the pitch to the Executive Council because of the same concerns the caller before you had. Or how do we collateralize business to get access to funding to develop their businesses? And the Executive Council approved that. And when that process started and the first applicant went to the bank to use the lease deed to get access to funding, and the bank did its research, its due diligence, then we recognized that there was a conveyance problem from the root deed of the property at Cove, right? So that is when it came to the knowledge of the board that that is a legacy inheritance at Cove that we have to rectify. And we moved to dispatch. We got the approval of the Secretary and the Executive Council, and we have engaged a firm in Trinidad to do the rectification. But that is a legal process over which the company has no direct control. It is a matter that has to end up even before the High Court because of the nature of the situation. So it's not that we knew that and we took your money and all of that. So I'm just putting it in perspective, because you have made a statement that is indicating to the listening public that Cove knew that they had a problem and they engaged with you and took your money and all of that. So that is not what happened. Please.
I didn't.
No, but you made a statement that gave that impression. So I wanted to correct that information that you have deposited in the public space, how this thing evolved. Okay? So you can proceed now. Thank you.
So it's important to note also, since persons are tenants, that probably they will inform consistently, right, for transparency. Would you agree of that?
Say that again. Could you repeat?
I mean, since persons are tenants and you said, okay, persons paid, was there consistent communication stating that this is the problem?
Well, management have been engaging with the persons who are directly affected in this matter. You know, as a matter of fact, the board have looked into this matter and have made a decision that persons who would have been affected, that there will be no lease fee charge for the period of this, what you call it, hiatus, if you want to call that, or the period of the interregnum where this is concerned. So we have been looking at this issue to ensure that our clients and our stakeholders are not disadvantaged, necessarily unfairly disadvantaged. And there has been communication and continuous communication with our clients and stakeholders on this matter.
All right, sorry, we seem to have lost that caller there, but you know, I'm happy that that topic came up, that conversation came up, so that that measure of clarity can come, because I would understand the concern of the client where that is concerned, because if I have made an investment of that nature and I have an expectation, and it was not met, I've already expended, I have an expectation, so you know what, I hope that conversation can continue and more clarity can come, and understanding, of course, on the client side, because I am the client and I'm thinking your legal matters, they don't really matter to me because I've spent my money. So I'm hoping that the understanding there will now come, that they would, and that the resolution will come as soon as possible. It seems we have a caller on the line. Caller, good morning.
Oh, hi, President. Good morning. So, the Secretary of Finance and the advisor. And President, good morning to you.
Hi, good morning.
Right, I was trying to make the call and listen at the same time. But I know Mr. Anthony was given a little history on the Dispute Resolution Committee, and he was stating that the Chief Secretary has made attempts to at least get the allocations to at least the 5%. It seemed like we always go in cap in hand and stuff like that. How far are we in terms of going back to the Dispute Resolution Committee in order to get this result? So if the dispute resolution if it was there already, then it would not have been a matter of if we get in this money, but it would have been when. So how far are we going back to the dispute resolution committee? How far are we where that is concerned?
That's a matter for the Chief Secretary. Probably the Secretary of Finance.
Well, the thing is, the last report of the Dispute Resolution Commission was, did recommend a lower end and a higher. The lower is 4.03 and the higher is 6.9.
Yes.
And even with that margin or bracket, we are still within that bracket. And we still have not been able to get the percentage share. So I don't know if going back to the Dispute Resolution Commission, triggering it once again, I don't know if that would make any real difference. The only thing, the minimum will now be 5.1 and the upper will maybe more, based on the same things in terms of accessing services in Trinidad and the absence of the multiplier effect and those type of things. So I don't know where we are at. I don't think we have triggered it. We have made any headway there. But despite that, we still have not been getting the share as per the population size, the per capita share for Tobago.
I hope that brings the answer to you, caller, there, because it's a process. It is a process. It's an ongoing conversation. And if you said that you now have to enter into the legal aspect of it to ensure that the percentage that is due to Tobago is given to Tobago legally, then it doesn't happen, as you mentioned before. Nothing happens overnight. You can't expect that they will say, okay, it's legal, so let's sign off on it today. So it is a process, and it's something that is still ongoing. We have a WhatsApp question that we want to ask this morning. A viewer sent in a WhatsApp question, and that question is, what measurable outcomes are expected if that 5.1% budget allocation is approved?
Well, the thing is, it's 5.1% of what, right? We have predicated it based on the projected expenditure revenues of. Well, I don't want to say it just yet. I really don't want to give it away, but we really intend to see some significant outcomes for development if allocated 5.1%. That is my main goal, to focus on the areas I would have enunciated before and explained before, and ensure that the development, the advancement of the island takes off in a significant manner. I hope that the response to my question will be, the answer will be in the budget. So let's wait on Monday, because Monday's presentation, obviously, my minimum will be 5.1%. That is not the figure, but the minimum. It would not be less than 5.1%. So the response to that, or the answer to that question, will come next Monday in the presentation.
And I think this is a budget that we all want to tune into. This is Monday, 23rd June. You want it, is it 10 a.m.? 10 a.m. And this is a budget presentation that you want to tune into to get a better understanding, because I know a lot of persons are concerned about the abridged version, but it really is a focus on the pillars that will hold, that kind of like the foundation of the actual budget, right? So those pillars will hold up the rest of the budget presentation, which will take place in October thereabout. So you want to be a part of that conversation and kind of understand what will be exposed during that budget, so that you have a better understanding, you're in a better place, and you could kind of follow up with the questions that you have and the concerns that you have, and you're able to follow with the vision, if I can say that, the vision of the Secretary as she focuses on these areas to strengthen the economy of Tobago. Because you're hearing talks about training for SME, you're talking about human resource, human capital increases. You're hearing these types of things, and these are the things that lend to the strengthening of the economy. So I am quite confident in terms of listening to and hoping for things that will be of a benefit to all of us here in Tobago. So pay attention. It's Monday, 23rd June, 10 a.m. Write your questions down if you listen to the budget, and we will come back right here on the morning show, and we could go through the topics again in terms of what was presented at the budget. But for now, this is where we have to end the morning show, and we're so happy that you came on this morning and went through the conversation. I know some of our viewers or callers, they had burning questions, some of which you were able to provide the answers. I'm not sure if it's to their satisfaction, but we were able to answer the questions that were presented, and we're happy that you made yourself available in that way to attend to those questions and to attend to those issues. And of course, I'm sure that there will be some type of follow-up, especially in the instance of Cove and the DRC there. So I'm hoping that we can have those things happening for people, so that they could kind of get the follow-up they're looking for, right? So thank you so much for being so open and vulnerable, because I know sometimes when we open phone lines, people could come with rapid fire questions.
Yes.
And I feel as if you were able to handle them to the best of your ability this morning.
But before we go, and Monday presentation will also be very historic. Historic in the fact that it will be the first budget being presented by a female Secretary of Finance, Trade and the Economy.
Yes.
And it will be one of the most revolutionary budgets in the history of the House of Assembly, because it is tied and anchored in this grand vision of making Tobago the greatest little island on the planet, which is our development pathway, which is titled Towards the Greatest Little Island on the Planet, a strategic development planning pathway for Tobago 2025 to 2045. All will be presented by the Honorable Secretary of Finance, Trade and the Economy, my boss, Petalali Roberts.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it right here on the morning show. The posting of the technical advisor there in the Division of Finance, Trade and Economy. You want to tune in to the budget presentation as it takes place there. As he said, revolutionary. It's going to be historical and it's going to be very, very engaging. I believe it's going to be engaging. I must say that our secretary is young, vibrant, has a vision, has been a part of finance in Tobago for a number of years, has the experience, has seen things happen, things work, things fail, and of course I'm sure has a lot of proposals that can improve and strengthen the situation here. So let's look forward to what is happening there, and we'll take it from there come Monday after the budget is read. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is where we end the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television, and we're so happy that you stayed with us for this extended version. Thank you for your calls, thank you for your questions and your comments, and we also thank you, of course, for showing appreciation to the secretary as well. We will see you again tomorrow with Youth Wednesdays. The youth will be here tomorrow as they carry on the morning show. But in the meantime, have a wonderful long weekend. Yes, it's a long weekend, so have a wonderful long weekend. Whatever you do, if you can't be good, then be safe.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, good morning.